All right, so let's finish up our last section for word problems in Chapter 4, which is 4.3. Okay, first we're going to look at consecutive integers. Does anybody know what consecutive means? Yeah, it kind of has to do with like continuing. Anyone else have an idea what consecutive, like what if I said to you consecutive days of the week? What would that mean? Days that are consecutive. Give me an example.
Not constant, but like.
What's 2 days in the week that are consecutive? Wednesday and?
Friday.
No.
Tuesday and Thursday. No?
No.
Monday and Friday.
Sunday and Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday are consecutive. Yes.
Monday and Tuesday.
Monday and Tuesday. Right? So
Tuesday and Thursdays?
what day?
Tuesday and Thursdays?
No, because there's something in between them. All right. So consecutive means 2 things, but there's nothing in between them. Right. So consecutive integers. Okay. Put this on your sheet. One integer after the other, with nothing between them. Right. So remember integers. Those are numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No fractions, no decimals. But you can have negatives. Right? So somebody give me an example of 2 integers that are consecutive. One right next to the other on a number line. Yep.
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Okay. Here's some other examples.
Because you have some space on there.
Okay. 2009, 2010, 2011. Okay. If you're looking at integers, there's nothing between 2009 and 2010. There's decimals, but decimals aren't integers. Right? Integers can also be negative. Okay? -8, -7. There's no integer between -8 and -7 on a number line. There's decimals, but those aren't integers. Okay, so all your answers today are going to come out nice. You're not going to have any fractions or any decimals in any of the problems from section 4.3. Right, so what would be the consecutive integer after? There is one before, but we want the one that's after. Okay, anybody think they know the integer after 6? Yep?
7.
7. How about the consecutive integer after 13? 14. All right, so after means to the right. Okay, if you're thinking of it as a number line, it's to the right. All right, so be careful with this one. What's the consecutive integer? It's closer to 0, to the right of -8.
Would it be -7?
-7, yes.
Oh boy.
Oh, my pencil broke.
All right, now I want you guys to try to look at the pattern. What do you do to get from 6 to 7? What arithmetic operation? Add 1. All right, so if you take 6 plus 1, you get 7. How do you get from 13 to 14? Add 1. How do you get from -8 to -7? Take -8, add 1. All right? So now, we're at n. Okay, don't think the next letter in the alphabet, because that's not what we're looking for. Some people think that. How would you get to the next number after n? Think of how we did it in all 3 of these.
It could be any number. How would you get to the next number?
And do the same thing.
2.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How did we get from 6 to 7? 13 to 14? Add 1. Okay, we just add 1. All right, so if n was 10 and I wanted the next number, I'd add 1 and get to 11.
And guys, notice that -8 up there. Notice what happens with the -8. It doesn't increase. It doesn't go to negative. Some people make that mistake. It doesn't go to -9. It goes to -7. It's bringing it back. It's going back on the number line. If it was -1, we can go to -9, but it's +1, so we're coming back.
Right. How would you get to the next one? What do you think you keep doing each time? Yeah, you just keep adding 1. So the next one here would be 8. The next one here would be 15, negative 6. What would come after n plus 1? Another plus 1, which would be plus 2. Okay, n plus 2. What would come after that one? N plus 3. How about after that one? N plus 4. Okay, you see the pattern?
You guys get it?
You just add 1 each time to get to the next one. Okay, in this section, we're going to let n be the unknown for every problem.
So you guys have that on your notes, right? You just got a little blank on there. You just want to write n. So rather than using x, let's use n. So we know that's a number.
All right, so yeah, as Mr. White said, use n for number. Right, and the types of problems we're going to do are just like yesterday. You're either going to have 2 unknowns or 3 unknowns. Right. If you have 2 unknowns, okay, what did we just say we're going to let one of them always be? What letter? N. And then what's the one that comes after n? How do we get it? N plus 1. Okay? So if we have a problem with 2 unknowns, these are always going to be the 2. You don't even have to think about it.
The problem will say find two consecutive integers with a sum of 26. Right? So when it says 2 consecutive integers, immediately on your little template, your unknowns will be whatever, first consecutive, second consecutive, and then n plus 1.
Okay, and I just put parentheses so you guys can see clearly. This is the first one, n. This is the second one, n plus 1.
And when you go to that next box down below, right after you have your unknowns on the top, you go down to the next spot and you have to solve it. That's how you would set up your equation: n plus 1.
Okay, anybody think they know for 3 consecutive integers what the first one is, the second one, and the third one? Yep. So I heard the first one. You said n? Yep, n. What else? Okay, what comes after n? Yep. N plus 1. And what comes after that? N plus 2. Right, so in this case, here's your first number. Here's your second number. Here's your third number. Okay, and we'll give you a problem, something like 3 consecutive integers add up to 6. Find the 3 integers. Okay. In that case, that one's actually easy. It would be 1, 2, and 3. 1 plus 2 plus 3. Add up to 6.
So does it just keep going up and up?
We could, but we're going to stop at 3.
You can do 5 consecutive, but
Yeah.
the most we'll ask you to do is 3.
Right, so let's try an example. Okay, this one says the sum of 2 consecutive integers. Okay, so I already know what my unknowns are going to be. Okay, in order to name them, we could just call them first integer, second integer. Those are the 2
You
unknowns.
can even like put first and second if you want. Just put
Yeah.
first, second. I mean, if you want to not write as much, it's up to you. Yeah.
Okay, so my first number, my second number. Okay, and we already know how to represent these. How do we represent the first one? Yep, n. How do we represent the second one? N plus 1.
What if you did the 1 plus n for that?
No, you could. We're gonna do it this way, just to keep it consistent. But you technically you could. Okay. Any questions on that part? All right. Now it says sum. Okay. When you see sum, what do you think? Add. So what are we adding up? N and n plus 1. We're taking our 2 numbers. The first one is n. The second one is n plus 1. And we're going to add them together. And once we add them up, what do they add up to? Negative 55. All right, so because they add up to a negative, I think the two answers here are going to be negatives, which is fine,
Then it becomes negative 55.
because that was given.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Just like the problem we did yesterday, whatever number is given, that's gonna be your answer. Or what you put for equals.
That was awesome.
Okay, next step. Combine your like terms. Kevin? Yep, keep going.
Plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
55.
Perfect.
Okay.
2n plus 1 equals negative 55. Right. Next step. Caitlin? Subtract 1. Subtract 1. Okay, on this side I just have 2n equals, what's negative 55 minus 1? Negative
Remember,
56.
two negatives, keep the sign, add the numbers together. Or use your calculator.
All right, and now my last step, and then I'll know what n is. Okay, Callan, what's my last step? Good, divide by 2. And divide by 2. Okay, we can use our calculator if we're not sure. Negative 56 divided by 2 is negative 28. Okay, now from here, really, we're just going to do what we did yesterday. Okay, we've got n. We go back up. Is there any arithmetic to do for the top one? No. That's just a letter. Nothing else. So when I plug the number back in, it's just a number. Nothing else. All right, so that's done. Okay, the bottom one, we have a little bit of arithmetic, but this arithmetic is going to be very easy. Today, all you're going to have to do is add 1, or maybe add 2. All right, nothing more than that. So negative 28 plus 1. What's negative 28 plus 1? Yep,
27.
negative 27. Okay, so now we've got both our answers. What is my first integer? Negative 28. What is my second integer? Michaela? Negative 27. Nice.
Remember, when you deal with a negative, the numbers don't think it's gonna go up to negative 29. All right, it's gonna come to negative 27.
Okay, and let's check it. Let's just add them up and see what we get. Negative 28 plus negative 27. Is that what they're supposed to add up to? Yep. Are these integers one right after the other? Negative 28, negative 27? Yeah. If you got an answer like negative 31 and negative 57, something's wrong. They're not next to each other. Okay, so they're right next to each other and they add up to what we wanted. That's it. Okay, any questions on that one? All right.
So that's on the back side of that sheet now.
So now we're going to look at a slightly different type, very similar, but we're going to look at not only consecutive, but also even. All right, so now we're trying to basically think of even numbers that are right next to each other with nothing between them. Anybody give me two even numbers there's nothing between them? No other even numbers between them. Yeah, 2 and 4. On a number line, there's nothing between 2 and 4 that's even. All right? So first of all, even integers are integers that are divisible by 2. Okay, just in case you didn't know that. So 2, 4, 6, 8.
So like even integers is almost like, think of consecutive, but you're skipping one. So it wouldn't be 2, 3, it'd be 2, 4. You're gonna skip that number in between.
Okay, what I just did is I drew a number line and I marked consecutive even integers. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. What would be the consecutive even integer to the left of 0? Negative what? Negative 2. Yep. Negative 2. Right. How about consecutive odd integers. Anyone think they could tell me two odd numbers that are consecutive? So you give me one odd number, give me another odd number, there's none between them. Yeah?
9 and 11.
Yep, 9 and 11. Good.
So if they're odd, we can't divide them by 2.
Yep. None of these numbers are divisible by 2 evenly. Yep. Okay, now I just want to look at both of these and kind of see what happens. How do you get from 0 to 2? What arithmetic operation do you do?
Addition.
Yep, and what do you add?
2.
You did a plus 2. How about to get from 2 to 4? You did a plus 2. 4 to 6. Plus 2. You're doing a plus 2 all the time. Okay? That's how you get from one consecutive even to the next. You got to skip the odd one. So you don't go to that, you go to the next one. That's why
Now
we
to
plus
get
2.
from, how about from like 0 to 4?
Plus 4.
Plus 4, right? So go from the first consecutive to the second consecutive, add 2. To go from the second, so go from the first to the third, you add 4. Now when we show you guys how to set it up, that'll make some more sense.
Let's try the same thing with odds. How do you get from 1 to 3? Yeah, you add 2.
Same.
Okay. How about from 3 to 5? Plus 2. Okay. What number did you skip between 3 and 5? 4. Why did we skip 4? Yeah, we're looking for odds. So we have to skip the even one. Okay, so to get from 5 to the next odd number, don't add 1. That'll only get you to 6. Add 2. That gets you to 7. All right, so some of these we already have up here, but let's try these. What would be the next consecutive odd number after 5? 7. Yep. What would be the next consecutive odd number after 15? Kevin? 17. How about after -9?
-7.
Good, -7. You guys are going the right way on the number line. That's good. All right, now the tricky one. What's the next consecutive odd number after n? Not just the consecutive, but consecutive odd. Logan?
N plus 2.
N plus 2. Now, what if it was just written like this? Find the next consecutive number after n.
N plus 1.
N plus 1. Good. All right, so if it asks for consecutive, you go 1 after. If it asks for the even or the odd, you go 2 after. Okay? If even and odd, yeah, same thing. Yep, even you go 2, odd you go 2.
How come it wouldn't be N minus 1?
You could go minus, but we're not. But you could. The only reason we didn't do minus is because we wrote right here, after. After means you got a plus 1. If we wrote before, then you could do minus 1. And everything we're teaching you today, you could do as before. N and minus 1 and minus 2. But we're just trying to avoid negatives. All right, so again, we'll go through our setup. For consecutive even and odd problems, you're either going to have 2 unknowns or 3 unknowns.
In the way the unknowns, whether it's an odd or an even problem, it's the same thing.
All right, so we agreed at the very beginning, we're always going to let our first unknown be represented by what? N. Okay, so that's my first unknown, N.
Then to get from that first consecutive odd or even to the next consecutive odd or even, what do we have to do? Like Mr. Hager showed that number line, right? He went from 2 to 4. What did he do, Dad?
He, like, 1 over 1.
1. How many did he add? He go from 2 to 4.
Oh, 2.
2. So what? How would you show that as an unknown? The first one's n. What would the next one be?
And 2.
Not n close. N something in the middle.
1.
No. How many are you going? How many are you adding?
I don't know.
2, right? You said 2. What's it gonna be? N.
Plus 2.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, so anytime you're doing these problems, the question you have to ask yourself, is this one where he wants me to do a +1? Or is this one where I have to do the +2s? Okay. Whenever you see the words odd or even, do the +2s. If you don't see the word odd or even, do the +1. Okay? That's like our first example we did. All right? And then it'll usually be something like you're going to add the first number to the second number. And it'll total something. They'll tell you in the problem. Okay? Maybe 2 consecutive even numbers add up to 10. So in that case, it would be 4 and 6. 4 plus 6 adds up to 10. All right, how about 3 consecutive even or odd? Okay, first decide, are we doing +1s or +2s here? Kevin? +2s, because you see those odds or evens. Can you tell me all 3 of them?
Yeah, it would be n, then n plus 2, then n plus 4.
Good. N plus 2, n plus 4. N plus 2, n plus 4. Okay, and again, I just put parentheses so you could see
Yeah.
first, second, third. Okay, and same template. Same template that we've been using since yesterday. Mr. Roy, one of the try this problems I wanted to do with them, but the last 2, like for review, I put those at the end. So, the last 2 I just put at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, I'm looking at this one. Okay, I see the word consecutive, even. All right, so because it's asking a question about consecutive even, am I thinking +1s or +2s? +2. All right, you got that extra word there, even, and a +2s. All right, and when we add them all up, they're going to add up to -30. Okay, so our unknowns. What do we call them? In fact, we call them the same thing in every problem we do today. Yep.
First and second.
The first, second, just like that. Third. Okay, those are my 3 unknowns. First one. First one is represented the same every time. Doesn't matter what kind of problem it is. If it says consecutive, first integer is always what? N. Now I want my second integer. And remember, consecutive, even. Right, so gauge what's going to be my second integer.
N plus 1. Or, wait.
That's the question. Are you doing +1s or +2s? +2. That's the key right there that tells you +2s. Okay. Engage, can you give me my last one?
Plus 4.
Good. All right, so that's our setup. Okay, the way this is going to be on the test, I'm going to count each one of these as like its own question. 1, 2, 3 questions you just got right.
Nice.
Okay? And now we got 3 more questions. The 3 dotted boxes, 1, 2, 3. So this problem really has 6 questions. So you can get lots of partial credit here. Okay, 6 questions. Yep.
For the first 4, like, when you have to set it up, are those going to count as separate?
Yep, they're all going to be separate questions.
Each box counts as points.
So really, the test has 10 problems, but it's going to be out of like 30-something questions. A problem like this is 6. 6 problems. Okay. What else? Okay, set up our equation. Sum. Okay, when we see sum, what are we doing? Yep, addition. Okay, what are we adding up?
N plus N2 plus N plus 4.
Yep, we're adding up our first number, we're adding up our second number, and our third number. And once we add all 3 of these up, what is it supposed to add up to? Negative 30. Combine our like terms. Alex, what's n plus n plus n?
3n.
Good, 3n. So we got those. What's 2 plus 4? Yeah, Kaden? 6. And that still equals negative 30. Okay, 2 steps and then we're done.
Minus 6.
Good, minus 6. Minus 6. Okay, you guys have been doing pretty good with the signs here. Let's see if we keep it going. What's negative 30 minus 6? Good, negative 36. So we got 3n equals negative 36. Last step, get rid of this 3 by dividing. Okay, so what's n if we do that out? What's negative 36 divided by 3?
Answer will be positive or negative? Good.
Yep, it's going to be a negative 12. Nice. All right, so now we've got our letter. N equals negative 12. Okay, when I fill it back in on the first one, is there any arithmetic to do? No, that was just the letter. When we fill in the number, it's just the number. Okay, nothing there. A little bit of arithmetic to do on these 2. Okay, what did we fill in for n? Negative 12 plus 2, Kevin?
Then no, it would be 10. Negative 10.
Negative 10. And then negative 12 plus 4. Negative 8. And those are my 3 answers. First number is negative 12. Second one is negative 10. Third one is negative 8. Okay, so the 6 answers you'd have to get this right on the test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you get each part separate. A lot of partial credit. Okay. Any question on example 2? All right. So we got 2 more, and then I think we'll stop for today.
Wait, so do we have to use that on the test?
Yeah, for this section, use n. Yeah, just because n stands for number. All right. Example 3. Okay, Mr. Roy is passing it out. It says find 3 consecutive odd. Okay, when I see consecutive odd, am I thinking plus 1s or plus 2s? The first one is n. It doesn't matter how you do that one.
Plus 2.
Plus 2s. Okay, and what's after n plus 2? N plus 4. Okay, and again, the 3 things, just call them first, second, third.
That's not going to be 2.
Yep. Yep, I might label it first integer, second integer, third integer. Okay, I might write it out like that. But it'll be set up very similar. All right. That's it for the first part. Okay, if you can get this, you just got 3 questions right. 1, 2, 3. Sum. Okay, we've done this before. What are we doing with all three of these? Adding them up. Can somebody give me my entire equation? Victor?
Would it be n plus n plus 2 plus n plus 4?
Okay, so we got n plus 2 plus n plus 4, and what is that supposed to add up to?
171.
The sum is 171. And now from here, we're just doing what we did again in the last problem.
So,
Combine your like terms, solve for n. N plus n plus n.
like 3n.
Yeah, you're going to see 3n a lot. Okay, that 3n is going to pop up a lot. 2 plus 4, 6. And what's still on the other side? 171. Okay, what's next step?
Minus 6 to 171.
Yep, minus 6, minus 6. Okay, those are going to cancel out. Now we've got 3n equals 171 minus 6. Okay, let's use our calculator just so we don't make a mistake on that. 165. Last step. Divide by 3. You're going to be dividing by 3 a lot in these consecutive even and odds because you're always going to be adding up 3 n's. All right, so 165 divided by 3. 55. Okay, that's now another question you just got right. N is 55. Plug it back in. What's 55 plus 2? 57. And what's 55 plus 4? 59. Okay. So, my three numbers are 55, 57, 59. Are those all odd numbers? Yep. Are they one right after the other? 55, 57, 59. And if we wanted, we could even double check that they add up to what they should. 55, 57, good,
Are they
59.
always going to be like that? The answers like ordered like that?
Are they always going to be ordered like that?
Yeah.
They're always going to be consecutive, even or
You're always
odd.
gonna skip one.
Yeah. Unless it says consecutive, like this problem, Victor. The very first one we did. Where was it? These didn't skip because it just said consecutive. Didn't say consecutive even. This one didn't say consecutive odd. All right. And Mr. Roy, do they try this one on their sheet?
They do this, I didn't, they have to write in the problem,
Okay.
that's all.
Yep. So this will be our last one. Okay, and then we've got a couple review problems for you guys to try. Yeah. Yeah, we've already done 2 just like this. So why don't you guys see if you can set it up?
Yeah.
Write your unknowns, write your variables. Okay, if you get stuck, Mr. Roy and I will walk around and
Walking around.
help you out. Okay, first thing you want to notice here, it doesn't say even or odd. Okay, so our first one will be n.
I did it.
What's the next one after n?
N plus
If it-
1 and then N plus 2.
Right.
It's easy stuff.
Okay, so here you're just doing the plus ones. Okay, n plus 1, then n plus 2. Sum. Okay, we see the word sum. What are we going to do with all 3 of these things? Add them up. Okay, Ben, can you give me my equation?
N plus 1, or no, n plus 1 plus n plus 2 equals negative 30.
Equals negative 30. Okay, so we've got first one, second one, third one. Add them all up, it equals negative 30. And now, we've done this a lot. We've got n plus n plus n. How much is that? 3n?
did odds at first, and I was like, oh, it's
Okay, we've got plus 1 and plus 2, which is plus 3. All right, 2 steps left, and then we'll have n. Minus what? Okay, minus 3. Minus 3. Okay, so 3n equals, I heard someone say negative 33.
And then you
Divide by? Good. And what do you get for n? Okay, so now we know our letter. N is negative 11. Go back up. Okay, fill it in for the first one. There's no arithmetic to do, it's just negative 11. Okay, the other ones, we get a little bit of arithmetic. What's negative 11 plus 1? Negative 10. And what's negative 11 plus 2? Negative 9. Okay, so those are my 3 answers.
Man, remember, it didn't say the words consecutive order.
He's gonna
Not
be
to
on
do
the
that.
test.
N plus 2, N plus 4.
Yep, these are on the test.
There's 3 of these.
Okay, any questions on that one? All right, so couple reminders and a chance to get some bonus points. Okay, so tomorrow we have our test. Okay, we're going to give you guys a reference sheet. You can use the reference sheet on the test. And there's going to be a bonus question. Okay, the bonus question is going to be at the end of this video. If you go on, get it right, put your answer on your reference sheet, and put it on tomorrow's test, you're going to get 5 extra points. So check the video tonight for the bonus question.
Guys, listen, the test tomorrow, all right? There'll be 3. There's going to be 3 where you have to set up only, all right? Don't have to solve, no solve. There'll be 1. There'll be 1 with 3 unknowns. There'll be There'll be 3 consecutive problems.
That's the one we just did, right?
Yep, it's like what we just did. All right, and there'll be 3. And there'll be 3 word problems where you have to actually solve. All right, so that's how the test is going to be set up tomorrow.
All right, so this is the bonus question for the test on October 16th, 2015. And the bonus question is the sum of 2 consecutive odd integers always even? Okay. Is the sum of 2 consecutive odd integers always even? Right? And it's a yes or no question. Okay, so on the test, you'll have to write down your answer to the above question. The actual problem will not be on the test, so you need to copy down just your answer to this question onto your review sheet, and you can use your review sheet on the test. Okay, you will not be allowed to look back in your notes during the test to try to answer this question.